Welcome back to another episode of R-TAC and Darters. Rick here. Today we're going to talk about this will be the last in our Russian series of pistols from the 20th century. The Nagant pistol. Very unique design. Started in, this is the model 95 of course. Started in 1895. Belgian designer Nagant came up with it. The Belgians used it. There were several other countries, the Swiss, I believe, along with the Russians. This one right here is a Tula Arsenal. It is 1944 mark, so it's wartime production. It's got a serial number of 30. So, yeah, it's number 30 in 1944 R series. Very unique pistol. Has probably, of course, this is the loading gate for it. I know a couple other people done some these on here, but this is probably an underrated training aid for a revolver if I ever seen one. This is a loading gate for it. Of course, it takes, it fires 7.62 by 38. We'll get into the round a little bit more. I know it's not pushed in there, that's the way it's designed. We'll get into that a little bit more. And we'll talk about optional calibers that you can shoot out of it as well. So, the first thing is of course, it's empty. Loading gate closed. It has about a 20-pound double action trigger pull. Look at that firing pin. It is stout, brother. Of course, if your adrenaline's pumping, shooting some Nazis or some Chinese out on the border, or some South Koreans, if this was used in the Korean War, who knows. Of course, those are import markings right there. It's got a stout double action trigger, no doubt about that. Single action trigger, nowhere near as bad. You're right there at the wall, pull it, and it breaks pretty hard. Another thing I want you to know here is when I cock it, look at the cylinder. It rotates and it presses forward. I don't know if you've seen that or not. So you see how they got those little cuts on the front of the cylinder? Well, we'll do this extra cylinder. See how those little notches right here around that? Well, what it does is, the idea at the time is that so much gas and propellant was lost through the gap right there on your most revolvers. If y'all shot revolvers, you know you can get a little bit of spray and all that. Well, it locks the cylinder in place for the most part, and it helps seal it. And then the case on it, that's why the bullet's pressed in. Of course, this is Fiocchi, or Fiocchi, however you want to pronounce it. I call it Fiocchi because it's the Italian name. That's how the bullet is. This right here is the seal that goes in, and then it would seal up against the barrel, and it seal the chamber too. And this would form a gas seal right there, and it will. The theory was it would increase pressure and bullet velocity would be higher. That's not always the case, and it did help, but it didn't do exactly what they really wanted it to do. So, but it worked. The Russians used it for 50 years, so it worked fine for them. Fun gun to shoot, not a lot of recoil. Again, if you want to unload the thing, you gotta unscrew the ejector here, which I've already done. You pull it out, it rotates up, you line your cylinder up, after you open the loading gate and the unloading gate up, and then you simply push it through. Once you get the cylinder loaded, there you go. And then you push it through like that, and it will push the round right out the back of it. See? Of course, once you got it in there, you can't rotate the cylinder. So that's how you push it out. It's also how you disassemble the gun as well. Right here, you pull this out here. As you can see, it comes out pretty easily. Well, to that point, and then you got to pry on it a little bit, and it'll pop out. Of course, the lever won't go all the way back. There we go. Turn that there, it's locked in. Can't pull it out. Doesn't turn. Close your loading gate. And you pull this little plunger out right there. That's a little spring loaded in there, and that pops out. So now there's cases where you can fire, or I've seen people say